The thing that drives me crazy about the Deadites is they don't shut the fuck up.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Deadite-a-Thon, where we discuss Evil Dead Rise. I am Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
I wish I was hi, Daniel.
Do you have any gummies?
No.
Okay. I mean, we can pause this and you can go get some if you want. I'm having a beer.
Only if you do them with me.
Nope. I had a dream that somebody gave me pot THC gummies and told me they were regular ones, and I got so mad. After I came down, I got so mad because I've never done it before, so I was like high as a kite for like 3 days because I was like eating them by like the handfuls. I was like, oh
no, don't do that. I'll have to take you to a hospital.
No, yeah, don't want to do that. That'd be bad. It was a dream, like I said. It was a dream. Speaking of a dream, thank you to our patrons, Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, and
Logan,
the Full Metal Patron, and Ben, the Fourth, Patron of Hope, and Mia the Fifth, the Rainmaker.
She makes it rain,
she makes it rain, and the sponsor of the Deadite-a-Thon, for Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, or at the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you can shop online at shop.forhorsemancomics.com. And if you make it into the store, say hello to the proprietor, Ronald III, Grampus of Christmas. Unless you make it to the Pittsburgh store, that's run by the Hot Dog Man, and I will say nothing else. I will say absolutely nothing else. Trigger warning, this is the first time we've said this in Evil Dead Land. Death of children, violence upon children. General gore, vomiting bugs, swallowing glass. I have to kill the things in my tummy. I don't like to have things in my tummy. Do you, Auntie Beth? So, I had never seen this before. Daniel, what is your history with Evil Dead Rise?
I went to go see it with a friend of mine. Because he's a really big fan of the Evil Dead franchise. And this is my second time watching it.
All right.
I saw it, I think it was the opening weekend.
Nice.
The vampires are pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
Background: this film released also at South by Southwest on March 15th, 2023. This is the fifth and currently in the most current film entry in the Evil Dead film franchise. It is a standalone film. It's not related to any of the others. It was originally intended to be released on HBO Max. After positive test screenings, Warner Brothers decided to give it Salem's Lot's theatrical release slot, and it became a theatrical movie. It was written and directed by Lee Cronin. This was his second film. His first film was The Hole in the Ground. Now, when this was announced, or when this premiered at South by Southwest...
What about second breakfast?
At the premiere... It was announced that they were going to do 2 more Evil Dead movies after this one. One would be a sequel to Evil Dead 2013, which would continue the story of Mia, the protagonist from that movie. And then the next would be Evil Dead 4, which would be a sequel to Army of Darkness. And then this wasn't announced, but the plan was that there would be a 7th movie that crossed the stories of Ash and Mia. Now, obviously, neither of these movies ever happened. However, the project that was going to be Evil Dead 4 eventually became Ash vs. Evil Dead, as most of you listeners probably know. In April 2023, Bruce Campbell stated that he, Sam, and Ivan Raimi were planning a possible future, or planning for possible future films in the franchise for every 2 to 3 years if Evil Dead Rise was a success. So supposedly they're going to make a new Evil Dead movie every 2 to 3 years moving forward. So was this movie a success? Well,
yeah.
Critically, yes, it was a success. Financially, well, it had a budget of approximately 15 to 19 million, and it made $146.7 million. Holy crap, I can't believe they don't already make one of these movies like every 2 years. People just love these fucking movies.
Yep.
They sure damn diddly do.
And that's that. Another story in the classic, infallible 3-act structure. Good enough for Aristotle, good enough for The Simpsons.
Mr. Sislak, I have a feeling there's going to be one more act to this story.
Well, I'm not hanging around for that. 4 acts.
Jumping into structure and themes, I didn't write anything down. Daniel, what are your thoughts on the structure and themes of this film?
The structure is chaotic, but that's kind of just par for the course for the franchise.
Yeah.
This movie had a surprising amount of themes. You had family, motherhood, abandonment, taking on responsibility,
So,
growing up.
what's it say about a movie where basically an entire family is decimated except for the dad who abandoned his kids?
Welcome to America? I don't know. Yeah.
Cue Neil Diamond. Come to America. So, fun fact. I thought this movie didn't suck.
Yeah. I actually like this movie a lot.
I think this is maybe the best. It's this or Army of Darkness for me. I think this. I didn't hate this movie.
Army of Darkness, I think you get a lot of the, like, maybe it just goes harder on the silliness.
Yeah.
This goes harder on the seriousness, but it also gives you things like characters and some motivation.
Yeah, like, I actually cared about these characters.
Yeah, so
You get character backstory for the characters in the 2013 remake, but I didn't give a shit about any of them.
I feel like it was very surface level in comparison to this. Mm-hmm. Like, with this, we got to spend a little bit more time with them before shit started hitting the fan, and you kind of understood where they were all coming from.
I think it also helps that their children and their siblings and their family, and they're overcoming their dad leaving, they're overcoming being kicked out of the apartment that they've always lived in.
You even get, like, some weird neighbors that are kind of endearing.
Kind of quirky. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the 2 kids. Like, hey, we're coming, you want to come over? We're watching all the Freddy movies.
Even the ones that suck.
And none of them suck. And he said, even the shitty ones. No, none of them are shitty.
It's me and you.
But yeah, I kind of like this movie.
Yeah. I thought you would either like this movie or you would really hate it.
I was ready to hate it.
Yeah.
But
I was like, I'm sitting there watching it going, man, there are so many dead kids in this.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But it was effective.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I absolutely hated like the first 5 to 10 minutes, because here's my experience. Like, I watched these back to back, not in their entirety, but I finished one and I immediately started the next one. And I'm like, God, I've seen the same fucking movie 3 times. And I start this and it opens on a cabin in the woods with some sexy teenagers. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. It's the same goddamn shit.
It's a bait and switch.
Yeah, and it is. But then it cuts to her doing the pee test, and I'm like, okay, maybe I still thought for a long time that they were going to go to that cabin. I thought, like, she was going to be like, oh, you just need some time to get your head straight, sis. Let's pack up the kids. Let's go to the cabin. Yeah, but no, it's... But
I did kind of like the... Because you always get the POV shot at the beginning of these movies, and this time it's a drone.
A drone, yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, and I also liked... I don't really like the prologue, but the title... where Evil Dead Rise comes up like over the lake while she's levitating over the water. That was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. It was a cool effect. And also when the one girl got her scalp ripped off.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
Mine.
The top of your head is now mine. And then she picks up the drone and just shoves it in her own face.
Yeah.
This movie surprised me quite a few times.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's go to characters. So our protagonist is Beth, played by Lily Sullivan. I liked her. Performance I thought was pretty good. As far as the character goes, I thought there were a few points where she was kind of slow to protect the other kids. When the mom jumps on the middle sibling, like right at the beginning, after Beth got stabbed in the hand with the glass, she takes the time to like duct tape and wrap up her hand before intervening. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
I guess I didn't think of that, but now that you say it out loud.
Because, I mean, as a parent, like, you immediately protect the child. Your needs come second.
Well, she hadn't reached her character arc yet. She didn't know if she wanted to be a
But,
parent.
I mean, there's still her niece. Like, you protect your niece. I have one niece, but I would still, like, if somebody jumped on her, I would immediately take care of that. That's what you do first off. But aside from, like, a couple little things like that, overall, I really like the character. It was another thing where she just lets all the people in the hallway die. A part of me was like, your first responsibility is to protect those kids. Don't open the door. And then part of me was like, Steve Rogers, we don't trade lives. And it's like,
I have a little bit too much meta knowledge when it comes to like supernatural shit. I would immediately assume there is nothing I could do.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I just assume maybe she's a really big horror movie buff, and she's like,
I mean, she is a punk rocker groupie.
Yeah.
So
you're the groupie.
She's hardcore. She probably watches horror movies. Horror movies. Would you like to watch a horror movie?
The number of pregnancy scares I've been through made me relate to her.
Yeah. Beck and I have had one or two. It's not fun. I mean, we've had 2 actual pregnancies, but we've also had a couple pregnancy scares. They're not fun.
I've had 23 pregnancy scares.
That's way too many. You need to lock that dick up. Take a break. Cool down. Take a cold shower. Okay. Alyssa Sutherland plays Ellie. This is the second time we have reviewed a project with this actress. Do you know the other one?
Not off the top of my head.
She is the mom in the Miss TV series.
Oh, she just plays moms.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know what else she's been in so far. I've just seen her as moms.
I've only seen those 2. I looked at her IMDb page. I haven't seen anything else.
What if she's a mom and everything?
I really liked her, and I didn't. The thing that drives me crazy about the Deadites is they don't shut the fuck up. If I hear one more Deadite say, "I suck out your soul," I'm gonna go crazy. And I liked her because, as a Deadite, she doesn't really speak for like the first 20 or 30 minutes.
Not all that much, not in comparison.
And I thought she was way more effective that way.
Especially with like the body contortion shit.
Yeah.
And the she really played up more of the I'm tricking you into doing something than the Deadites did that a little bit in the other movies.
Yeah.
But she really tried it in this one.
Well, she got to do it to kids.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sing this lullaby, let me in the door.
Nothing a big old kiss from you won't fix.
What do you think of Ellie.
I think she's my favorite Deadite.
I think she's also my favorite Deadite.
And that's including the TV show, so...
Except for maybe the skeletons from Army of Darkness.
Yeah, the Jason and the Argonaut skeletons.
Yeah. Those are just too cool. But as far as, like, a possessed person, yes, she is my favorite. Spoiler alert, when we get to scary shit, I'm going to say again that this movie isn't super scary, but something that did, like, turn my stomach is when she first gets possessed and she walks in the door and starts cooking eggs, and there's, like, blood coming out of the eggs.
There's a few things that worked for me. I don't know if I'd say it's nightmare-inducing, but there's a few things that kind of play into fears I have, so...
All right, we'll table that. Let's keep going. So we've got our 3 kids, Danny, Bridget, and Cassie. We'll start from oldest to youngest. So Danny, played by Morgan Davies. Thoughts?
He is the boy. I think all the kids did a good job.
Is the boy.
Yeah, he is the boy.
I don't... Like, all the kids do a good job with their performances.
Yeah.
I think the more the topic is that there is children in this movie, and 2 of them die.
He is the musician, or
he's a
DJ. Is that do they consider themselves musicians?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know any DJs.
I guess my dad was a DJ. I'm not going to ask him though.
I don't think he's the. Never mind. I'm not going to say how your dad identifies as a DJ.
Well, I mean, my dad's also an actual musician.
As opposed to a fake musician like a DJ?
Yeah. It's like AI artist.
Okay, so instead
We're just ripping on DJs.
I don't know any, so I don't... I'm sorry if you're a DJ. I mean, like...
It's his fault.
Yeah.
What was the guy in 2013? Eric. He's Eric.
Yeah, except Eric was an adult. And this person is a child.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think Eric also thought that literal demons would show up.
I don't think either of them did.
Nobody. I don't think anyone other than the mysterious guy recorded in the basement tapes.
What I took more of an issue with is there was literally just an earthquake. Why are you crawling into that hole? If there's an aftershock, you're going to get buried there.
Because teenagers are stupid.
And then they take the elevator. And before the mom was yelling at them for taking the elevator, I was yelling, like, are you so stupid you could get trapped?
The stairs were gone.
Yeah. They didn't say that until the end of the movie, though, so I didn't know that at that point. You would think if your mom was yelling at you for taking an elevator, you would say, the stairs are gone.
Yeah, there's no stairs, Mommy. Yeah.
Okay, Gabrielle Eccles as Bridget.
She swallowed glass.
That was kind of gross.
I thought she also did a decent job as a Deadite.
Yeah,
Not as good as the mom.
I was going back and forth if they were actually going to kill any of these kids or turn any of them into Deadites. And I was like, I can see it going both ways. And then she got cut, and I'm like, oh, that's bad.
That's all it takes.
Except for Beth. Beth gets stabbed through the hand with a piece of glass, and she doesn't turn into a Deadite.
It was the power of motherhood? I don't know.
I'm sorry. But like in most of these movies, like if you're harmed in any way by a Deadite, you turn into a Deadite.
Unless they don't want you to.
Unless you don't.
Yeah. And this movie is the only one that I can think of that calls attention to that.
Yeah.
During the, it's not tapes this time, it's records.
Vinyls,
yeah. It possesses without rhyme or reason. I'm like, well, at least they brought it up.
Drake watches the If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, a cartoon. Mm-hmm. And the 5 main characters are the mouse, plus the characters from all the other books. If you give a pig a pancake, if you give a moose a muffin. And there's this scene where they listen to vinyls, and the pig is like, oh, we're going to listen to a record. It's how old people and really cool people listen to music. Cassie, she got to live. Played by Nell Fisher, who did a good job. Good job, Nell.
You'd be a really good mom. You know how to lie to kids. I love that line.
Yeah, that was rough. I love where she puts on the goggles and is like, I got stung by a jellyfish at the beach last year, so I have to check under the water to make...
I don't think there's any jellyfish.
That was so shitty. I was like, the kid is traumatized. She got hurt and she's traumatized about water. That is not how you handle that.
That either really works or it really doesn't work. So
yeah. But yeah, I thought all the kids did a good job. I think the discussion is that there is children. This is the first one where there are kids, and some of them do die.
And they really didn't have much qualms about it either.
No, it's just like, fucking kill them.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was thinking, like, oh, maybe all 3 of these kids will leave. Maybe, like, the end will be Beth, like, deciding that she has to die so that these 3 kids can leave. And they're going to use all the neighbors for, like, body counts. But no, they kill 2 of them.
Yeah, like, the neighbors are just sort of wiped off. Not completely off-screen, but off-screen enough.
I actually really liked that scene where she's looking through the...
It's very visually interesting.
Yeah.
This movie also had just, like, shots that were cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
I'll kill you all! I'll drive you crazy, and I'll kill you all! I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
Okay, so let's go to scary shit. Is this movie scary? You kind of already answered that, but elaborate, please.
There are just certain things that kind of get under my skin. Creepy old recordings get under my skin. So the idea that somebody could play one through their mouth freaks me out. I have
like Stitch.
Yeah, that legit would freak. I would throw that dog out of my house.
It's not a dog, Lilo.
Somebody dying and then immediately sitting up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would freak anybody out.
Yeah, that kind of freaks me out, especially because they're sort of playing it back and forth and just with enough seriousness. Mm-hmm. And then, somebody having a fever so bad that you have to put ice in a bathtub, that freaks me out because I've had those sorts of fevers.
Yep.
And that just kind of sends me back there to when I've had a fever of 106 and had to be bathtub iced.
Yep.
So, those things freak me out. And then, like, no one the cringy pain. No one likes pain.
Yeah, for me it wasn't scary, but there were a lot of, like, effective things that just made me cringe or grossed me out. I mean, just like...
kids being in danger.
The vomit scene, like, with all the little chunks in the vomit, I was just like...
pregnancy scares. Scares is in the name.
Yep. Yep. The effects, there is some CG in this one as opposed to Evil Dead 2013, but overall I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't distracting CG, so...
So, here's a criticism. I don't know how I felt about the Eldritch Horror Deadite fusion dance thing.
The combined thing?
Yeah, that was... I don't know how I feel about that.
I also don't know how I feel about that. It also comes off as very final bossy.
Yeah, which does kind of help put a bow on the movie, but I'm not sure how it got in the wood chipper. I felt like I missed something. So the aunt has her, like, shoes caught in the wood chipper, and the girl saves her, and she pulls herself out, and she grabs the chainsaw, and then the next thing I know, like, the thing is there, and it's caught in the wood chipper.
Okay, so what happens is that she gets out of the wood chipper, and the thing jumps down into the front of it, and then instead of immediately chasing her, it just sits there for a minute for the girl to turn that on, and then she pushes it into the wood chipper with the chainsaw.
I might have looked away for the scene where it jumps down.
Yeah, because it goes from, like, being on top and trying to drag her into jumping down into, like, the entry point. But then it kind of this is me kind of being probably more critical than I should. But then the monster just kind of waits. And it's not like a long time, but it's enough for her to say, "Cassie, turn it on." And I'm like, that's like 3 whole seconds. If I was that monster, I'd already be off of the big thing.
And attacking.
Yeah.
No, you're right. This movie did a good job of, like, setting things up. Like, it shows you the scissors being placed under the bed very early in the movie. When the kids are in the parking garage at the beginning, you see the forestry truck with the wood chipper and the chainsaw.
Cat in the vents.
Yeah, the cat in the vents. Like, it does...
Is the cat okay?
It does a good job of, like, laying out the groundwork for stuff that's going to matter later and being less in your face about it than, like, a movie like Signs.
Yeah.
Kiss me, fat boy.
You have to have a threesome with any two Deadites from any of the 5 films. I guess you can also use the TV show if you want. Who would they be and why?
The mom and Mia.
Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
Thank you.
Menage a trois. How could I forget you?
Because I like tired mom eyes, and she had them for days as a Deadite.
Yes, she did. Yes, she absolutely did. I would choose 2 of the Jason and the Argonauts skeletons because they have the best boners.
You know what? I don't even hate that we made these jokes. I think we did a good job with them.
Yep.
Golf clap.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Power of Christ compels you. So Bruce Campbell has a cameo in this movie. A much better...
This is how you do a cameo.
Yes. He is the priest on the vinyl who, like, speaks out and says, no, don't do this is bad. And apparently I read on the wiki that the director sees that as actually Ash Williams as a priest. When he's, like, displaced in time, there's, like, a universe where he becomes a priest. So I'm wondering, what would his church look like? What kind of sermons does he give? What is the parish like? What's his church like?
Based off of him being just an absolute womanizer. One of the polyamory ones.
You know the mud flaps that have, like, the outline of, like, a naked woman?
Yeah.
I picture, like, the stained glass in his church is that, except, like, with, like, actual boobs and stuff.
It would be one of the cathedrals that shows Mary breastfeeding Jesus.
Yeah. I think, like, he's, like, an 80s guy. Like, his sermons are probably just, like, him, like, reciting Guns N' Roses lyrics or AC/DC lyrics.
Hey, fellow kids. Does he still wear denim, but he has, like, one of those little priest collars?
Yeah, he could. Why not?
Yeah.
Just, like, take the whole Catholic priest get up, replace all the black with just, like, denim, keep the collar. That totally works.
I am working on a gag right now. I'm buying denim shoes and denim-colored socks. And a denim hat, and I'm going to grow my mustache out and go to work because Carrie's coming back, but she hates my jean jacket. So I'm going to show up with a mullet and, like, full denim gear for, like, a few weeks to see how pissed off I can make my work friends.
That'll do it. I'm a little pissed off just listening to it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
Kiss me, fat boy. Kings and Koontz. Daniel, what is your king for Evil Dead Rise?
I was going to say the cheese grater, but I think I just have to say the mom Deadite.
Yeah, the cheese grater was like, when I saw that, I was like, why is that not in more horror movies?
Yeah.
That would suck.
Whenever this movie first came out and it was, like, trending on Twitter, people were putting, like, little cheese graters. Mm-hmm. So I think it came with the hashtag.
My king is that I was able to get outside of my own ass enough to enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
And then Koontz.
Yeah, Koontz is sort of hard because a lot of the things that I bitch about have either been addressed or, like, there being no rhyme or reason to the Deadites. I mean, at least they addressed it.
I wish the mom talked a little less in the latter part of the movie.
Yeah.
But at least she doesn't, like, go for, like, the full, like, Reagan voice.
I guess the abomination, or whatever they call it in this one.
I guess that's my Koontz, I guess.
I think my issue is it's a fine idea, like, oh, we're combining a bunch of the Deadite bodies into just one big thing. It's gross. Mm-hmm. It's monstrous. I just don't think it looks very scary.
No.
It doesn't even look like a boss I would see in, like, a survival horror game. It looks like one of those, like, mid-range enemies.
And it looks goofy, but this is one of the less goofy movies. It has some goofiness to it.
Yeah,
but it's not like Army of Darkness.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with that. I'm especially because a lot of the other makeup and a lot of the other stuff looks pretty great. That one I'm just a little less enthused on, so I'll go with that.
Okay. All right, so we're moving on to rankings. Pretty high for me for an Evil Dead movie. I have Evil Dead Rise at number 43, which is above the new Boogeyman and just below Bambi Meets Godzilla, that ultimate classic. And for you, I'll just automatically go to this section.
Go to it's right above Reanimator.
Whoa, you think this movie is better than Reanimator?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that's your new number 17, below Bram Stoker's Dracula and above Reanimator. I do think this is...
I think I made this like discussion before when it came to like Battle Royale. Do I feel more like just like sitting and like having a good time?
Mm-hmm.
This is the opposite. Is like, do I feel like laughing or do I want something serious? And this is the better end of something serious.
Yeah. As far as Evil Dead movies, this is, of the ones that are more serious, this is the best one. And as opposed, the two I like are like the most ridiculous one, Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
And then this one, which I feel like is the serious one that doesn't suck. But I know not other people.
How many suck jokes are we gonna make during the Blade-a-thon?
Suck out your soul. I don't know.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Probably a lot. Suck out your blood. Upcoming on the Horror of Babylon, we're doing the Battle Royale manga this Sunday. And then the next Sunday, we're wrapping up Battle Royale coverage with Battle Royale 2 Requiem. Yay.
Yay.
And then we start our next a-thon on the next 2 Thursdays with Blade and Blade 2, which I have never seen, and I hope they don't suck. Speaking of people who do not suck, thank you to our patrons, Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, and
Logan,
the Full Metal Patron. And Ben, the Fourth Patron of Hope. And Mia the Fifth, the Rainmaker.
She makes it rain, yeah.
Oh, and thank you to the sponsor of the Deadite-a-Thon, for Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, or the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can also shop online at shop.forhorsemancomics.com. And if you make it in the store, say hello to Ronald III, Grampus of Christmas, who is a guy.
He also has a pregnancy scare.
I mean, he probably did back in the day. Not so much now, because he's old. Alright, thanks for rewatching Evil Dead Rise and recording with me.
I like the way you get a rise out of me.
I don't think I got a rise out of you today.
No, but you usually do.
Okay. Alright, thank you to our patrons. Stay tuned for our socials and stay.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.
scary.
Stay scary.